and the gold sands is raised. Everyone here knows what that could mean to this
football. Good afternoon, Bournemouth fans. It was AFC Bournemouth 0, Southampton 2 today at the Vitality. And whilst there's not a nail in the coffin, the hole is already there. And it just takes a point from Watford to secure their Premier League safety. And who knows, after their sacking of Nigel Pearson today, maybe they'll have the new manager bounce. Maybe they'll capitulate at City and maybe Arsenal will beat them. We're hoping for miracles now. But Southampton did a job on us today. The Saints have got one song, one striker, and before this weekend, it seemed like they have one rival, but the Twitter sphere suggested otherwise, didn't it? They wanted to get one over us today after that 3-1 victory. And once again, the sirens are out where we are. And unfortunately, it was a 2-0 loss. Cherries were dominant in that first half. We were assured we were getting forward at every opportunity, but we failed to create the golden chances. And then the ex-Cherry came along, scored his 21st goal of the season. And then to add insult to injury, that VAR decision, which was correct. Sam Surridge, unfortunate for him, but everyone's distraught. And then Shay Adams came along and scored the winner. Paul Kenwood is here with me first. Paul, how you doing?
Back down to earth, I guess, after the last couple of performances. I mean, they put in a shift today. We put in a shift today, but the better team won on the day. Unfortunately, they were more clinical. You can't really argue with that. You know, it was in our hands to go out there and get some points, and we screwed up.
We started off pretty well though, didn't we? And we looked on the front foot. We were pressing. We won so many corners. It was ridiculous, but we just didn't seem to have that key opportunity. And, I suppose one thing you've got to say is we didn't really work the keeper, which is something that we have to do if we're going to get anything.
Yeah, it's been the story of our season, though, hasn't it, really? Callum Wilson's not been firing on all cylinders this season at all, you know, compared to when he and Weeman had that great partnership last season. Solanke's come in, but he's only had a couple of games to really hit form. King's just one of the most frustrating players that I think I've ever watched. He has moments of brilliance when he puts in 100%, and then 5 minutes later you'll see him sat or moaning at somebody, and it just looks like he's given up at times, you know. So I don't think King's really been on form this season either. So that's what we've been missing is goals. Unfortunately, you need them to stay up.
Harsh on Solanke not to start based on his recent form, and Callum Wilson, who, admittedly he had a few chances at Man City, but he seemed to, he can't hit a barn door at the moment. So he starts over Dom Solanke. What's the thinking with that? Is it a case that I'm maybe overthinking it after we've lost 2-0 and I'm looking at each and every decision and thinking, why did Eddie do that? Well, because what was your thought when Dom Solanke wasn't starting and you saw Callum Wilson starting at the start of the game?
I think you've got to play your best player, and Callum is the better of the two on paper. On form, possibly not. They're both about the same, really, on form. But yeah, you've got to play your strongest team. Brooks and Wilson coming in, I think, was a good decision. Whether I would have played Billing and Lerma at the same time in midfield is another matter. I would have maybe had Lewis Cook or Gosling on from the start, but it is what it is now, and we are now in the hands of Watford, who randomly have chosen to get rid of their manager 2 games before the end of the season.
What the hell is that all about? I mean, I know they always love the new manager bounce, but my God, are they hoping that someone's going to come in and do something in the last 2 games? They need. Look, I mean, Paul, percentage-wise, obviously, had we won this game, your hopes of staying up would be, probably quite high. But now we are hoping for Man City to batter Watford, for Watford to lose against Arsenal, and then we need a win against Everton of some kind. It's not quite over. Saints haven't, completely suffocated us just yet.
But I'd like to know how much the odds were on that that scenario happening. Put an accumulator on that.
Yeah.
You know, the chances of Watford getting nothing out of the last 2 games and us getting a win at Everton, I don't know. I mean, Man City have been hot and cold. Arsenal have been on good form. You'd hope that they would win, but
I was thinking when
what Watford are like.
Yeah, I said, well, they did it on Liverpool. We're going to bring in Craig Beasley's here. I'm going to bring you in shortly, Louis and Morgan as well. Ollie May's here as well, though. Ollie, I'm absolutely deflated. I'm not sure about you, mate.
I think we all are, and anybody following Bournemouth today is going to be deflated. I don't know what to say, to be honest. I don't know what to bring up first. I mean, it's a fantastic first half, shocking second half, a couple of outstanding performances from a few of our boys, and then, of course, at the end there, I mean, where do you start with that?
It's and that loss, you know what? We were chucking men forward at the end, and you know, I sort of said to a couple of people that I was watching it with, it's, you know, this could go one way or the other. It could turn into a Newcastle, or it could turn into a Leicester. It turned into half Newcastle in the end, because they got that second goal, and it's one that I don't know what the goal difference means now, but we are expecting favours from teams that should give us favours, but also there are, you know, like, of course, Aston Villa are still in the mix as well. So I don't know what Eddie's feeling like tonight, but it's not looking good as a Bournemouth fan, is it, Ollie?
Well, no, and like you say there, we're now looking at favours from sides around us, and a lot of people are looking at Watford and saying, well, yeah, but they've got Arsenal and Manchester City, but Aston Villa are still in it. You know, that if they were 6 points and they had to win both games and rely on Bournemouth and Watford to then lose, or, you know, if they were 6 points, I think that would put them down anyway because of the Watford being 3 points ahead. But what I mean is, if they were lower down and maybe needed to win both, then you'd say, well, they're out of it, and then it's just Watford to rely on dropping in and us being able to get out. But Villa is still in it, and Watford's, you know, I don't know what's going on today. It was classic Watford to announce that they had sacked their manager in the middle of a Bournemouth game with such magnitude as well. So I don't know. We've got to rely on some other team to do us favours, but I think VAR today didn't really do us the favour we were hoping for. That's the thing. Yeah.
Paul, is your brain pretty much tuned into the fact that, you know, we are going to get relegated now?
I'd say we've got about a 30% chance of staying up now, probably, if that. And I think VAR will follow us to the Championship, unfortunately, and that's something I'm not looking forward to next season, because it's our goal went in, and I couldn't celebrate it for about 3 minutes. You know, it's annoying. You know, I get to that point now where a goal goes in, you see the players running around hugging each other, and you're looking for facial expressions amongst the players. I think somebody nodded no, you know, shook their head to say no. I think it was Surridge shook his head to say no, as to say he wasn't offside. But of course, Callum was on the flick on. It's just so frustrating.
We got a message from Jack Nonce. Oh, no, sorry, Noyce. Sorry, I read that as Nonce. You might as well be. Enjoy the Championship, Saints fan. Thank you for coming on to this AFC Bournemouth channel. There's no rivalry, apparently. But, you know, throughout the days previous to this, they've been, you know, pretty much, you know, goading us on Twitter. Yeah, you know, like, it is a funny rivalry. It is one that is, you know, probably one-sided. But Jack, thanks for your comment. Really appreciate it.
I mean, the better team did win, to be fair to Jack, but it's you don't have to rub it in.
Enjoy Portswood, beautiful area. Craig Beasley, how are you? Can't hear you, Craig, by the way. Not sure if there's microphone issues, but
Speechless like the rest of us.
Yeah, speechless just like the rest of us. So you may need to just refresh your browser. In the meantime, I'll take you out, and then I'll bring in Kirk, who's here. Your runs have been doing us wonders in the last few games, but alas, the luck ran out today, Kirk.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start with that, Sam. I suppose, you know, they gave all the effort and determination and drive that they've given for the last 3. But it's same again, isn't it? We just weren't clinical in front of goal. VAR wasn't on our side, and that's where we are again.
It was a good first half, wasn't it? It was a good first half whereby I thought that we should have been 1 or maybe 2-0 up. But Saints, to their credit, they held on, and they perhaps did what we should have done at their place a couple of seasons ago, whereby they were on the precipice, they were on the edge, and we rolled over them for them effectively, and then we also did them a favour the following week at Swansea. And would it, it had to be Danny Ings as well, Kirk, didn't it? Had to be.
You knew he was going to score, and I knew Southampton were going to score. I said this morning, they've only not scored in 2 away games this season. They were always going to score. I thought we set up right. I was concerned that Billing was in there, fair to his due. I thought he had a pretty good game. I'm still not convinced by him, but I thought he had a pretty good game. I thought the pace and tempo that we set was perfect. It just felt like when we got in those areas where we could hurt them, we were almost just over trying. And then you've got the likes of Callum that I've said been all out of sorts. He's just panicking in front of goal so much at the moment. He's normally so ruthless, and we're just not finding that cutting edge through. And then the goal to concede was a poor pass through the middle. Lloyd Kelly, brilliant game, but really he should be going outside to Rico. And I even think Ramsdale, he had a brilliant game, don't get me wrong, but I think he will be disappointed he didn't get that. And I think he goes down just a second too early. If he leaves that dive 1 second later, I think he saves that. But again, we sort of helped them score that goal, didn't we?
Yeah, and the bounce before that shot, there was a slight bounce on there, and if it hadn't, he might have been able to gather it. Brilliant save for the penalty, but I felt as though the halves, or Ollie, I don't know what you think about this, but it almost seemed like the first half performance, we needed that in the second, because the second it seemed 50-50. Even Saints dominated that second half, whereas in the first half I thought that we were all over them, and they, albeit they did score their goal, but we just needed that sort of second half Leicester intensity. And there didn't seem to be any sign of it.
But how many
that's
teams?
The thing.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say that's the thing with last season that I think is different from now. And you say that Callum Wilson, he looked scared almost to miss at times, and he didn't take his chance. I don't even think he had a shot on goal in the end. But the difference there, like you say, is we needed the Leicester performance in the second half, which in fact we got in the first half today, despite being 1-0 down in the last couple of stages of that half. But the difference, I think, with Wilson is we know Callum Wilson's a finisher. He's a good player. He's played for England. He don't play for your country. You're just an average striker. You know what I mean? And this season, he's been an average striker. And I think that's because he's almost scared to kind of get on to the end of the balls, on the end of the ball, sorry, and to get on the chances to make a difference rather than kind of leave it to other players or hoping that other players kind of put it on a plate for him. And you saw last season with Fraser, they had that connection and they almost looked like they believed in each other and the rest of the boys to kind of give them chances. And they had the ball, they do their own kind of duties to get Bournemouth what they needed. But this season, it's been almost like we need to create 10 chances to score 1 goal. And then in the second half, we didn't create the 10 chances. And inevitably, I know we ended up getting the goal, which was disallowed, but we didn't create enough chances to score, which last season we would have probably scored 2 or 3 in the half.
Paul, Championship, are you looking forward to it? Because that's effectively what's probably going to happen, right?
Am I looking forward to it? I'd rather we stayed up, but I think it's not the end of the world if we went down. Championship was a good league. There's a lot of good teams in there. They play good football. We can probably, if we can keep hold of some of our quality players, I'm thinking there'll be a pretty big rebuild anyway. I think we could hit the Championship running maybe, and at least be looking at playoffs and above, go back up again. But would we want to go back up having had the experience we've just had in the Premier League? I don't know. We've worked out that players like money, weirdly, and they like big clubs saying they want them. So I'd quite like to be in the Championship and maybe not have so many big players. I think it might work for us.
Do you think, Ollie, that obviously we've been? I know that Solanke's done relatively well recently, scoring goals, but we seem to love to throw about the money when you see that the players we've signed, especially from Liverpool, Jordan I, Brad Smith, Dom Solanke played 20 million for whatever, 19. Do you think that maybe being in the Championship is going to tighten our purse strings a little bit, and the signings are maybe going to be a little more astute than what they have been in the Premier League?
Yeah, I think so. I think the managerial experience that Eddie Howe's had has not been Premier League worthy in terms of signing players, and that's obviously a credit to him building up a club like Bournemouth to get into that league. Obviously being a manager that's not had experience in the Premier League before. I think that does come down to little things like making signings, keeping hold of players, making sure that players are kind of playing their part financially as well. Like you say, with some players kind of now in the spotlight, in the limelight of everyone, all the clubs, all the big players and managers and managing directors of all the football clubs in the top league in the world, looking at them thinking, well, he's okay. If they go down, we'll have him or whatever. I think, when you sign the wrong players, like you could say a few players have been this season, and the money that we spent maybe a bit too much on certain players, it's going to make a difference. And you can see what difference it makes when you look at the players we have signed for little money that have made such a big difference. Harry Arter, £4,000. That's just unheard of. And to be now, I know he's not in the Premier League anymore, but to be a Premier League starter as he was in the first couple of years for us, that's the kind of thing that I think we've lacked in the Premier League, because we started looking at bigger clubs, bigger names, bigger players, and almost felt like we have to splash big money on them, otherwise that they won't join us.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Thank you very much for coming on, Ollie. Really appreciate it. By the way, do a quick plug for your YouTube channel, because I'm loving the week in football videos that we're seeing. It's like the Harry Hills TV burp of football. I love it. It's really good. What's your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is just my name, Ollie May. Every week in football, as you said there, I'll look back on the best moments that have maybe been missed or maybe not got the recognition it deserves. Little bits and mishaps on television. So that'll be out in a couple of days as always.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the description below once people watch this back. Ollie, cheers. Thank you very much. And I'm sure you'll be talking about this game as well. Thank you very much. That's Ollie May. And we're going to try to bring in Craig Beasley against Morgan's next. And there's a few people in chat saying, oh, no, not Morgan, because he's always the eternal optimist. And we're thinking, what are his thoughts? In the meantime, we had the nonce from Southampton. We've now got the Peacock, small club with small mentality. You've had your taste of the PL. Now time to go back to where you belong, EFL. That's a really good bit of conversation there from a Saints fan. Right, Craig Beasley, hopefully we've got you okay.
Hello, mate. Can you hear me?
I can. Far away. How was it? We know that.
Flat pancake. To be honest, the boys put in a good effort. They gave 110%. Where we are lacking, and Paul mentioned this earlier on, we're not clinical up front at the moment. Wilson's been out of sorts all season. King's not been on it. Solanke, has got 2 goals. He did all right when he come on. I celebrated like mad when we thought we scored that goal. And to be honest, 2-0, it's a bit unfair on us. I think the players just, their heads dropped as soon as that goal was disallowed for VAR. And I can't see a way out of this.
No. I
honestly can't see a way out. I know Morgan's going to come on and say, oh, yeah, we'll beat Everton. And, Aston Villa won't win any of their game. Who have they got? They got Arsenal and West Ham.
You're right.
Yeah. There's no way out of this. I can't see it. It would need an absolute miracle. But I can't say that the boys didn't try hard today. Just very, very disappointing. And those Southampton fans, who are trying to wind us up, why don't they just do something better and just?
It makes me. We're in a win-win position, right? We are the smaller club. We are tin pot to some extent. We are trying to create a rivalry, but they rise to it, and they rise to it every time, and it just shows their mentality that they're getting riled by little football Twitter people that try to, get one over them. And they, to be fair, they they have probably won this particular war, but the fact is we've got in their heads, and the fact they're even coming on this YouTube channel to watch us shows that we've got in their heads. And today on Twitter and stuff, you're looking at it like it is going to become more of an intense rivalry, and I have faith that if we are in the Championship next season, we've got the players to get us back up, and probably the manager as well. I don't think Eddie's going to go elsewhere right now. I don't know. Who knows? Paul, we'll let you get off now, but closing thoughts from you. Will it happen? What's going to happen at Everton? Will any favours be done for us?
Disappointing. I ran out of beer. I really needed a beer today as well.
I didn't.
So
yeah.
I know, I can see that. Send some this way. What do I think is going to happen? I think we'll probably beat Everton, and it won't be enough. I just got a feeling that we've wasted this opportunity to get something today that will cause us problems for the Everton match. I think either Villa will overtake us, or we'll have, because West Ham got nothing to play for now, really. So Villa can easily beat West Ham. It's whether or not they can get something from the other game. Watford, new manager bounce. You know what they're like. They'll get a point at Man City, and then that'll be enough for them. So it's pretty much over, bar a miracle now. A miracle of results in our favour. But I'm sure Morgan will come on in a minute and tell us completely different. So, which I love. I love the fact that we have this difference of opinion amongst all the fans, and there is a very, very, very large number of fans who've got positivity. I'm losing it quickly.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, thank
Right,
you very much,
sweet.
and appreciate you coming on, mate. And we'll talk to you soon,
No
no doubt. And speak of the devil, how are you, mate? You're getting a lot of grief on the messages, on people on here, like saying,
I know.
Morgan's going to come on. We do love you, but obviously you are the eternal optimist, and sometimes Bournemouth fans do look through rose-tinted spectacles only because they want to see the brighter side of life, and that's you, which is fine. But alas, the team have disappointed us today. And how are you feeling?
All right, so we'll start with that decent first half performance. Again, I thought, even the commentator said we're not just taking time to go. Morgan to, thanks for that. Appreciate that.
Lovely. Yeah, go on.
Oh, I lost my thought now. So the commentary said that we put that ball in, and then to the box. We didn't take route one where we pass it around the back and bugger about with it. It went straight into the box. Callum Wilson, send him down to League One. He can't even finish a 5-yard tap in. He's horrendous. And then by the way, I described Philip Bidden like a lemon after the last game against City. He actually put a decent shift in today. He's still like Bambi on ice. I'm always going to remind him of that. But he did all right today. I thought he won quite a few headers. That game was based on quite a lot of headers against our centre halves, and he did well in that. He won a lot of headers. As for VAR, I don't understand how you can give a penalty like Harry Wilson's, although it was a little bit more obvious. How we didn't get one against David Silva in midweek against City, so I don't get what VAR's about, if I'm honest. I knew Sam Surridge was going to do that because we've been moaning at Eddie to bring him on. However, VAR always, I think, just hates Bournemouth. What a tricky day at the office. I was on the BT Sport cam and I celebrated like mad, and then as soon as I saw a VAR, I thought, well, this isn't going to count, is it? So not. It's kind of hard to find any positives this evening, but me being my normal self, we're going to come out and crack on, and we're going to beat Everton, and City are a class team. Pep won't accept what happened last night at Arsenal, and City are going to beat Watford. So Bournemouth, do you get a win at Everton? That could be enough to keep us up. But right now, most people think can win the Championship, but don't give up faith. There's always VAR to give us a 97-minute penalty or whatever.
Yeah, Dimitri Anastasi, I'm sure he's born in Southampton. See you, Bournemouth. You're so pants, said Alfie Smith. I mean, atrocious. I love seeing these comments. They're absolutely brilliant, and I'm glad they've come onto our channel. It's fantastic, and it just shows that the rivalry is slightly intensifying. But you know what though, Craig, VAR. By the way, Louis, David in Washington, Algard, stand by because you're going to be on shortly. Maybe it's because we're in the position that we're in, but VAR has sucked the life out of football. And as I said on a couple of shows ago, referring to a previous clip where Neil Dawson was on the podcast, and he said, football's like a release. It's like a drug. And when you score, it's like a release. You get that moment of euphoria. Nowadays, as soon as the goal goes in, you're not even looking at the ref, which you used to do. You used to look at the linesman and see if the flag is up, and then you used to look at the ref. And now you're just paused in this moment, thinking, "Do I celebrate or do I not?" And even that Dom Solanke goal that crossed the line against Leicester, that 2-1, you heard the whistle go, and you're thinking, "What the hell is that?" Fortunately for us, it was the Leicester player that got sent off, but it's just killed the moment. In the Championship next season, if that's where we're heading, which it looks likely to be, we might be able to actually enjoy our football again, Craig.
Yeah, I never wanted to ever mention it ever again, but that Burnley game, for example, an absolute joke. We had a couple of favours from VAR. Gosling against Chelsea. It's just it's soul destroying. You could tell the players were soul distraught. Rambo run around his goalkeeper, his area, and then there is that big drop. So you're right at the very top after celebrating that goal, and then drop like a stone. And in the position we were in that game, it's just heartbreaking. It's just I will not miss VAR. I think it needs to be looked at. It is how it's been managed this season is atrocious. I don't know how during the World Cup, when the referee would actually go to the screen, have a look at the decision, and then would make the final call. That was better. Matt Letizia made, and I can't stand the bloke, but he made a point on Sky Sports News a week or so ago about getting former players on that. Which, to be honest, on that point, I probably agree with him. Not him, because I can't stick him. But having a former player, helping out the referee, that's fair enough. But I think how they did it at the World Cup is probably the best option.
Well, yeah, I mean, it undermines the referee if it's decided elsewhere. By the way, Jaden Pickett, Saints fan, why don't you come on the chat? There's the link. AFCBpodcast.com/take part. I know you're very good with your keyboard, but come on and tell us why we're rubbish and tell us why you're brilliant. I'm sure you won't come on.
Sam, do they actually have a YouTube channel like this? I
Yeah,
don't think they do. Oh, they do?
Yeah. To be fair, I do know the guy that does the Southampton channel. He's a really nice guy. Well, there are a couple, and he's a really nice bloke, and he's helped me out with a lot of advice. Actually, to be fair, Freddie's nice guy. But I think a lot of the Saints fans that are on here at the moment, I mean, it's absolutely hilarious to see some of their comments. He won't come on because they never do. What we're going to do is bring in a couple of extra people by the way of David in Washington and Al Gard. Now, Al, I need to catch up with you first. How are you feeling? Because you were in hospital the other week. How are you doing? We can't hear you, Al. I think your microphone's maybe not quite there. You may need to just relaunch your browser if you can. And if you just press refresh, I'll bring you straight back in as soon as I see you there. Sometimes it does happen. In the meantime, I'll speak to David in Washington. I'll bring in Ben as well, who's not looking amazingly happy. But David, viewing from over the pond. You've got a smile on your face, but I bet you're feeling everything but, aren't you?
It was when we got that goal for Sam Surridge, I was cheering and jumping up and down, and then I hate VAR. I agree with the others. I think they need to go to the referee with a screen at the side of the pitch, and the referee should make the final call. The only thing I would say is Matty Holland, who was on the channel that I was listening to, said something very, very important, which is, when we were on -17, if we'd gone down that season, that would have been the end of the club. This is not the end of the club. We're going to come back next season. We'll be in the Championship. We'll have the parachute payments. I think we'll be okay in the Championship if that's what happens. I still have that hope for a miracle next week. That somehow it comes down to the last minute and we send Watford down. But if we go to the Championship, in some ways it would actually be refreshing because we'd use a lot of the younger players. Sam Surridge would be in the team every week. Some of the other young players would be in the team every week. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need to go down to come back. And then the other good thing is I think we would sign Mark Pugh. And I think that would be great. He would be really good in the Championship still.
Oh, well, I would take that. Ben's also here as well. Ben, how are you feeling, buddy? Ben, how you feeling, mate? How you doing?
A little bit disappointed, if truth be told.
Just a little bit.
I might be a little bit slow, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm very lagging behind what I can see.
No, that's okay.
Right, anyway. I watched this match in one of my local pubs, and there were a couple of Southampton fans in there, and I was jumping along. I was jumping along and enjoying what I could see, but very disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, you and me both. I think the performance in the first half was, was pretty good. We just didn't have the cutting edge where we needed it, did we, Morgan? I think, Ben, there is a bit of a lag at the moment, so we'll just cut to Morgan a little bit. Morgan, that first half performance, you're pretty good, but, our attacking impetus has been lost all season. It's been better recently, but I suppose this game sort of summed it up recently, didn't it?
Wow, you might as well have me playing up top. After Callum Wilson can't score. Oh wow, I'm 6'5", aren't I? The person who and I sat down in this chair makes me look small. But having said that, I thought Callum Wilson, since he's had the England call up, I think that's gone to his head. I think he's all about himself rather than the club. People keep blaming Ryan Fraser. Now, yes, that probably hasn't helped, but most of our lads are, I know we lost Ake and Smudge, but we got a full fit squad again, really. And compared to what we had all season, this is the best we can. We can't make excuses. We are dreadful in the final third. I think we conceded 62 goals this season or something that I heard in commentary. I can't remember if I got that right, but it's absolutely, my watch just had me to breathe then. I think my heart rate's on the but yeah, no. I thought 100%. I think going forward, I think Bournemouth are dire. I think, you get a chance. You look at that Otamendi chance. I don't know what Dominic Solanke's doing. It looks like he's just going to blize it. It's just terrible. Harry Wilson, he had that little shot. I think he's waiting for Santa. Seriously, what the hell's he doing? And I was just dreadful. Craig was saying about the VAR. We saw in the Norwich game last night, Kevin Friend, the referee, went to the pitch monitor, and I think Chris Kavanagh also did the same for Ian Kincaid again in the Arsenal game not so long ago. The referee, in my opinion, has to be making that final decision, not someone halfway up the country at the VAR hub who's just sat there. It needs to be the referee. Jason Mourinho's come out and said, oh, no point in looking at the referee. Might as well just talk to the referee at Stockley Park. No, 100%. You've got to be getting to that monitor and making it mine. I've seen VAR quite like most people. And in the World Cup, VAR was spot on. They would go to the monitor. Yes, there was 7 or 8 minutes at the end of every game. However, that's nothing. We're having water breaks halfway, 22 minutes in. So what's another 3 minutes at the end of every game? Just go to the monitor, have a look. VAR is just absolutely dreadful. How you can get that? How the one in midweek wasn't given in our favour, I don't know.
Well,
It's just
yeah.
absolutely, and these are the things that are going to cost us going forward.
By the way, Morgan,
VAR.
I've just blocked Charlie Edwards, Southampton fan and racist, in the comments. So Charlie Edwards, you've been blocked, and on YouTube there's a feature where you can report it to a higher authority. So unfortunately, your racism may cause you a few problems in the forthcoming week. So that's going to be escalated. Thanks very much for that. And anyone else that needs to be blocked, you come along. We're all happy with banter, but when it comes to racism, we're not for it. And any footage we need to submit to the police or whatever, we will happily do so. But that is just completely uncalled for. Saints fans, don't let these people get away with it. Right, Jaden, Tin Pot Club, is Morgan speaking? All this kind of stuff. Jaden, come on, chat, because you're a person that likes banter. AFCBpodcast.com/take part. Come along. Come away from your keyboard, put your headphones in your device, and be a man and chat to us live on air. We'd love to hear from you, but I presume that you just want to stay tapping on your phone.
I just don't think
that's what they do. That's what they do. Go on, Morgan.
You've got all these people sat behind a keyboard who don't think. You've got all these people sat behind a keyboard, and just because they think they're man enough to sit there on their keyboard. If you're really man enough, come on afcb.co.uk and take part, because unless you can actually speak about something positive, I suggest you keep your mouth shut.
You know what? I find it a bizarre. I mean, you know what? If we were in their shoes today, and I don't know, say if we were playing, I don't know, Norwich or whatever, like I know they're down already, but if we played Norwich and we sent them down. You know what? That's the last thing on my mind would be to go on a Norwich thing on YouTube, and then
to be honest,
it's just weird, isn't it? So for them saying it's not a rivalry, it obviously is, which is more on them than us. But
Well, how many times, Sam, have we helped them out?
They got nothing better to do.
We helped them out and beat Swansea for them. If we hadn't done that.
Yeah, I know. They talk about putting money in our buckets and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know how much money we saved them through keeping them in the Prem. I mean, I wouldn't say we rolled over and such, but we sort of, we almost gifted them the game, and then we beat Swansea for them. Kirk, you're a person that's obviously got like a lot of passion for the club. You're very enthusiastic, and this morning your motivational speech, I mean, God, it nearly had me in tears. But what's going to happen? Championship next season? Is that going to be where we're at?
The odds would say that we would be championship bound. I think if I've got the maths right, we're going to need, obviously, Watford and Aston Villa to both lose. Now, if Watford lose by 3, that would leave a 1-goal swing. So if we were to beat Everton and obviously Watford to lose the last game, that would take us above them. And with Villa losing, it's irrelevant. So there is a chance, but how many weeks are we going to sit on these shows going, we're going to get there, something's going to happen? And do you know what? And I went back to it last week. I think the problem is, I think we've been trying to plant so many seeds, and previous squads that Eddie's had when they produced miracles and the great escapes, that the players and the team have sort of galvanized that situation. I think this time it's different. I think we've tried to galvanize the situation, and we're hoping that a player sees the footage. We're hoping that the team sees what we're trying to achieve, and we're really behind them. And I think we've tried to push this, and actually we just haven't. I just don't think the squad as a whole is behind Eddie like the previous squads were when we produced these historic moments, and that's what he's been struggling with. That's how I feel about it, really. And going to the Championship, that's a similar scenario. I think we'll be okay. But again, I don't think he's got the team that are one for all and all for one. And that's what he's probably going to have to resolve this summer, or obviously in pre-season.
Yeah. All right. So Morgan, I'll just take you out temporarily because
no worries.
back. There are some people trying to come back in. If you
Could
come
I
back
just say before I go quickly? Could I just
Yep.
say, Kirk, why don't you go and have a Bournemouth version of Gary Neville? Why don't you go and have a little chat with the backroom staff and the players and actually tell them what they need to hear? Because I think you're pretty spot on in everything you say. So maybe head down and go and have a word with them.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, well, I've just taken out Craig Beasley by accident. Craig, I'll actually just bring you in very shortly, actually, because what I want to do is bring in Ben, who is standing by. We had some issues before, but you are there. Also, Dean Millwood as well is standing by, so we're going to bring Dean in as well, chugging a beer like I have been, and Max as well. Dean, how are you, buddy? You need plenty of these tonight, right? Dean, can you hear us okay?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I can hear you. I wasn't realise you were chatting to me.
Yeah, no worries.
No, I'm all right, yeah. Just disappointed, gutted. I feel like that's the end. I really do. I've been watching the podcast for the last few weeks and I've been on a roller coaster like everyone else has, and I just feel like it just hasn't happened. I'm so upset. It kind of hurt me as well because after the Newcastle game, I was like, well, we're down. I've had it. And, I'm getting banter off everyone going, oh, Bournemouth are down, because, everyone knows I'm a Bournemouth fan. And then we get the hope. And I'm thinking, brilliant, we're going to stay in. And then it's almost worse. I think the big issues that have happened this season, the amount of injuries, obviously, Solanke not performing. But I just feel like VAR has been against us. No one talked about it, Talk Sport, Sky, no one's talked about the fact that David Silva handballed it in the area.
Yeah.
How is that? If it had been us, it had been given. What about the Adam Smith shoulder earlier in the season?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It clearly wasn't handball. It's just completely ridiculous. So I'm just a bit upset about that. It's just gutting. It's just upsetting, really. I think, hopefully we can hold on to Eddie. I know I've heard a few people kind of say, oh, we've got to get rid of Eddie and all this kind of stuff. I think they're talking absolute nonsense. I've watched Bournemouth in League 2, League 1. And do you remember us under Lee Bradbury, for God's sakes? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was crap. That was crap.
It wasn't Jimmy Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I remember John Benson. That was even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. I love it.
My early bad memories of Tony Pulis, but hey-ho.
Oh, Tony Pulis. There's another one, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Eddie in the Championship, his team in the Championship, than watch a Tony Pulis game in the Premiership.
Yeah.
Right,
100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. We've always played really good football under Eddie, and I remember you used to go League 1 all the time, watching every week, and you such value for money. It was like 20 quid on the door normally, and you go see some real good football. Brett Pittman, what a genius he was. It's just gutting.
Do you think we could bring Brett back next season?
I think we need a goal scorer, and he's a goal scorer, isn't he?
I think if we've got next season Bert and Mark teaching our kids how to play football, we'll be very happy people. We'll be very grateful for that, because they could learn from no one better. No one better.
Do you think we are almost too emotional and too kind of, reminisce? We sort of reminisce a bit too much, where we think we can bring back like players like Pewey and Pittman. I mean, could they realistically still do a job? Do you think, Ben?
No, of course they can't actually do a job in the actual league, apart from on a one-off occasion when it needs a little bit of heart, which our current squad seems not to actually have.
Yeah.
But we can always imagine, can't we? And we love imagining.
I think Pewey still has. Pewey still has it.
Of course he has. All he's got to do is go left foot, right foot. Well, bye-bye, fullback.
Plus, at least the players will eat well.
Yeah, very true. Some, like avocado, jus, with some chicken, in apricot. Like some of his dishes, like he's got these like meat dishes with like strawberries on the sides. Like, what the hell are you doing, Pewee? But apparently it's good for you.
When you say what the hell are you doing? Have you actually eaten them?
No, I haven't. But come
They
on,
might be great.
Meat and strawberries. You do. Well, can't be right. Anyway, David, we're going to bring in some more people today.
Right.
Thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it. And
see you next week when we beat Everton and stay up.
That's great.
Who knows?
That's great, David.
Thank you very much. Cheers, David. Appreciate it. And if you're trying to get in the chat room and it's saying you can't get in, we've got a maximum waiting room. So we're clearing people out and bringing more people in. So do try again. David Whitehead is here as well. We'll bring David in now. Louis is standing by, but we'll come to Max first. Max, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine at the minute. I just can't believe we score and then they just take it away. Oh, I'm gutted. My birthday and all today, and I thought we were going to get through, and they just ruled it out. And then 2 minutes later,
mate.
boom, 2-0.
Hi, birthday, Max.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Should we all sing
lose
happy
and they're
then?
going to score a goal right after we score.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Yeah, it's happy birthday to you, but unfortunately, I was saying to the people I was watching with, I said,
"Oh no, Everton next though."
But like for all the chances that we had in the first 20-25 minutes, or all the possession, it felt as like we needed a goal. And there have been so many times before where I've watched Bournemouth and I thought we need to take these opportunities, and we haven't, and we'll get punished. And lo and behold, I called it even before it went in, because there was just that Lloyd Kelly, like, awful ball out from the back that got like intercepted, and just the way they overloaded, and then lo and behold, it comes to the ex-Cherry, and he punished us in the most horrible way possible, didn't he, Max?
I know. Cheers to joining the chat, obviously. Thanks. So yeah, today I just thought we played well, but in the first 2 minutes, apparently they had 2 shots already. That's one from what I saw. But we had a few early corners in the game from what I saw. Although I was out, but I had to quickly get back here to watch it because I knew I was on the podcast and have to speak and blah blah about the game and that. But Everton, I'm just what am I meant to say against Everton away? Yeah, as if Aston Villa can score against Everton, who are in relegation, then we can as well. But we just got to defend. Not 3 players at the back, 5. It may seem funny, but just defend for your lives, attack. You need to beat Everton. Need to beat them. Watford, we need Watford to get absolutely hammered like West Ham. Like I messaged you the other night. But we need to beat Everton. If not, then we got Championship.
Yeah, we've got to rely on Man City to do us a favour against Watford, which they may do. Max, thanks very much. We're going to bring in some more people because there are people like queuing up to come in, if that's okay. So thank you very much for coming on, Max, and happy birthday, even though it doesn't probably feel like it. Much appreciated.
On the plus side, Everton don't have Lukaku anymore, so he might not lose 5.
Yeah, very true, very true. We got a Southampton fan, right? This might be interesting. Daz is here. Darren, can you hear us?
Hello? I can hear you. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Australia, so land down under. Saints fan. Been Saints fan because Dad, 76.
Sean, go and find him.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to come on here, not to attack anybody, but I just wanted to clear some things up.
Go
on. First thing I want to say is the fan that I saw that said those racist remarks, nothing like Saints fans. That's just a plain idiot that should not be in football at all. Second of all, I wouldn't be lying if I was. Yeah, it was a great game, and the first half, I think you guys were the better team, but I think Ingsy had a really good goal.
Yeah.
And that I thought if you guys got the first goal, you could have ran away with it because you definitely had confidence today. And I knew you had confidence after, hearing you barely lose to Man City. And obviously, we Saints fans know how hard it is to come against Man City. I think second half, you lost that confidence. I don't know what happened in the first 15 minutes, but what I saw, and then obviously, the penalty, I think it was fair because, obviously he wasn't trying to, it was unnatural. It was an unnatural position, but I think you can't really do that, especially when I think, was it Romeo who tried to pass it to someone, so he kind of blocked the play a bit there. So I think it was a penalty. I think for me, before I go on with the rest of the game, I think Ramsdale was your man of the match. He was absolutely brilliant. He made that one-on-one save with Redmond, which I thought he would score. I think he did it was kind of like a goal against Chelsea we had against, I think, in December away, where he kind of chipped the keeper. I thought he was going to do that or just slide past him, but fair to Ramsdale. He also came out earlier the first half, I think. And, then when it came to the 75th minute, I think you guys started you realised you woke up and you guys wanted to win this game. Not draw it, but I think you guys wanted to win it. And I think we were really good defensively, I think. But we were shaky and you guys, I don't think, finished chances. I don't think we finished chances. I think the Ingsy goal, really, that was a really good finish by a great player. And then obviously the VAR incident, I can't say anything on that because I have not seen what Callum Wilson did, because it didn't show on the replay. VAR just stuck on him being offside. So I don't know if he blocked McCarthy's vision or whatever, but I've got to look back at that. But I think that Adams goal at the end really could hurt you guys, because I think that Adams goal can hurt. I think that Adams goal at the end really could hurt you guys, because I think if we're gonna think that Watford are gonna lose their next two games, and I don't know what happens if you guys are tied in goal difference, but I think if you lost 1-0 and then say you won. Let's say you win 2-1 or something against Everton, you lose, and Watford somehow don't get battered by Manchester City, but they keep in and they lose by a goal, and then they lose to an Arsenal side, which will probably be rotated. I think you guys, kind of, this was your chance to really take control of your destiny, and you didn't. But yeah, that's all I got to say. And you're not in the championship yet, but I think I said to myself that if you guys lose this game, you'd be one step away from it. It's like a staircase, and you're one step away from just falling it off completely to the championship. I don't have any problems. I've watched you guys' podcast, and you guys you're pretty good. I just have problems with the people that try and make it seem like Southampton and Bournemouth are kind of, this big rivalry. That's not our Saints fans, why we don't like that, and why we're kind of, being like, fuck off. sorry. But it's because we obviously, we hate Pompey a lot. We absolutely despise Pompey, and we don't want anyone to just come at us and claim they're, our rival. So, I have respect for Bournemouth at the end of the day. When you guys came up, I had a lot of respect, and, I think going down is not the worst thing. And I honestly think, I don't know, I just think you guys are a good club, but I think sometimes there's just moments where I think you guys kind of think you think you're a big club that's been here for forever with the Prem, but in the end, that's just my thoughts. But respect to you guys, respect to this podcast.
Thank you very much. Honestly, really appreciate your thoughts, and nice to chat to someone who can articulate themselves in a fairly decent way. But Ben, you wanted to say something?
Just about this Southampton Bournemouth rivalry, whether it's a rivalry or not. Now, if the big kid keeps punching the little kid in the head, he just thinks it's another little kid he's punching in the head. But the little kid, hello, remembers getting punched rigorously and often. So I don't think it's a rivalry. I don't think we are anywhere near the Southampton Pompey rivalry. In fact, the teams that I hate are Reading, Swindon, Brighton. You know, those are my top three of teams that I despise. Oh, Brizzle. Let's never forget Brizzle. You know, those are teams that I despise. However, Southampton, because we're now in the same place, they go, oh, we don't care about you. Well, stop tweeting about me then.
Yeah,
it's quite easy. If you don't care about me, stop tweeting about me. But you
know,
do keep tweeting about me, and therefore I'm going to keep responding. And if you weren't advertising your club in my town centre, trying to get my kids to go and watch your team rather than coming to watch my team in my hometown, I wouldn't have so much of a problem with it. But you did that. You did that. You did it often. And therefore now, tough. I'm going to dislike you. I won't hate you, but I'll dislike you.
I agree. And, you know, what I love is hearing the adverts on Fire Radio and 2CR Heart, whatever it's called now, where they're advertising for people to watch the Saints at St Mary's. Like, oh my God, you're advertising on the radio. Like, that's just weird.
They've got to fill that big empty stadium somehow, haven't they?
Yeah. David Whitehead, you impatiently standing by.
Sorry, David.
Your camera is a little bit jittery, but hopefully we can hear you okay. How are you feeling after that? Can you hear us okay? We can see him, but we can't necessarily...
Disappointed.
Go on.
You know. Can you not hear?
Yeah, no, we can hear you, but I can
Can
hear
you not hear?
that
No.
there is a bit of a delay, so I'll wait for 5 seconds and you go for it. What do you think of that performance?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm hearing, mate.
Okay, mate.
We'll
We'll bring you in shortly because there is almost a very difficult delay there. Or so much so I can't really hear anything. So there are certain delays where you can wait.
Can I say something on? Sorry, can I say something on the Southampton rivalry? I agree with Ben in this. There are teams that I hate more. Like I hate Burnley simply because they always seem to beat us. For instance, with terrible football. And so it's always a pain in the ass. But the Southampton rivalry, I see, like I've got a lot of mates who are Southampton fans, and it's just a bit of banter, it's a bit of fun. But when we were leaving the Southampton game last time, they were like, a lot of Southampton fans were talking to me as I walked through the town centre, and they were saying, "What, you see us as your biggest rivals?" And I said, "Well, kind of, yeah, because you're our closest team, but it's not in like." We hate you. We just want to beat you. We just want to finish above you, just to say, yes, we've done it.
And, we have done
and the way I look at it,
maybe not this, but yeah.
The way I look at it is it's like Liverpool hate Man United, but they also want to beat Everton. And it's like, I feel like it's the Liverpool-Everton rivalry a little bit because it is friendly because after the game you go and have a pint or, I used to work with a couple of Southampton lads and it's fine. But like they hate Pompey hates them, and that's like Liverpool, Man United. But we're kind of like the neighbours, and we want to beat them. And let's be honest, we all want to just finish above them. That's all I look for. And I was really hoping they were going to get relegated a couple of seasons ago. But my dad, for instance, was like, "Oh no, I want them to stay in the Premier League." I was like, "What?" But you know what I mean? So.
There's a natural food chain, isn't there? Like even with animals, one eats one, and then one eats another that's bigger than them. And Portsmouth and Southampton have always had that rivalry, and that's going to be their main thing. But we like to have rivals, and they're the nearest to us, and the one that's always been divisions above us. And for the past 2 seasons, we've been better than them. So why not?
So Pompey and Saints are genuine rivals. They genuinely dislike each other. So they're a married couple. Can they just stop asking us to get involved? I don't want to involve myself in your marriage. Your marriage is none of my business. I'm quite happy.
Part of it
I'm quite happy screwing Swindon, Reading, Brighton. Don't need to screw Southampton and Pompey as well.
Absolutely superb.
Although the fact they dropped Burt for their playoff semi-finals and then didn't get through to the final.
Yeah.
I love you, Burt. I absolutely love
you. What? Brett is a legend. And when we do these live streams, right, there's a button in the top right-hand corner that says end broadcast. And I play the closing jingle, boss going back there, whatever, press end broadcast, but people are still there, right? And then Brett said something along the lines of, I'm glad you didn't ask me about fucking Kenny Jackett. And it's just like, oh my God, I was like, I wish I kept that going. It was gold. It was gold. And he obviously wasn't happy. And I don't know where he's getting, I don't know where he's going next. And I really hope that he finds a club that
if our under 21s, under 23s get to be taught next season by Mark Pugh and Brett Pittman, I'll be the happiest man alive, because they'll be learning proper football education from two absolute geniuses of the game.
Yeah. I completely agree. Ben, right, we're going to bring some more people in. Ben, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a few of these, because that's what I'm going to do.
I will do indeed.
Good man.
Be watching from afar.
Of the Cherries. Thank you very much, mate. And also Dean as well. Thank you for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
No worries.
Cheers, Dean.
See you later.
Good man. Right, Craig, we're going to bring back very shortly. But Louis will come to you next. Here's a familiar face, and also, as I say, Craig Beasley here. So, how are you feeling? 2-0 loss at home. It could have been better.
Sorry, Sam, you coming to me, or was that Craig?
That's you. That's you.
Oh, okay. Again, very sort of bittersweet on that. I just kind of want this to be over now, and just for us to know where we finally stand with it. I hate all this, hanging on for dear hope at the moment. We really did come out of the blocks today, and really gave a good account of ourselves. And I was really, really, sort of hoping that maybe just one of those corners, one of those free kicks was just going to get on the end of it. But we just kept persisting with the same routines over and over again. And in the end, it was just becoming more and more frustrating. All these long throws that either Billing was trying to put in or Lloyd Kelly was trying to put in, the corners as well, that, it just seemed to persist with Rico. We brought Harry Wilson on, and sort of my head then fell into my hands. I was just thinking, we're not going to get anything from this now. It's just like the recent games. It's just not like we've been trying to do anything to, I don't know, play to his positive strengths at the moment. It's not like we're trying to get a free kick in and around the edge of the box at all. It's not like Rico's, either giving him a chance to actually take some of the corners. And in the end, it just became frustrating. It just had to be Danny Ings to score today, didn't it?
Of course,
yeah, it just had to be. Although saying that, when they did get the penalty, I genuinely thought, and I don't know, he had this look at him, and I thought to myself, he's going to miss this. I thought, in his heart somewhere, he doesn't want to score this, but, Rambo, good save, didn't fall for the stutter or anything like that at all. VAR, but we're going to have a constant conversation about this week in, week out. And honestly, now I am resigned to us being in the championship. And if anything, I'm looking more forward to being in the championship now. And this has kind of got me thinking about the team itself. Because, given the way that some of our, I would say, bigger players are playing, particularly maybe even Cal, it's kind of got me thinking that really, who's really going to sort of want to go after him? And really, is there going to be a team that Cal wants to be a second string striker for? Because at the moment, that's what his form dictates. I can't really see him at an Everton. I can't really see him either at like a West Ham or so. Because I think there are players at those particular clubs which are playing, better than him. And I don't think any of the bigger teams will want to take a gamble. So if he does stick with us, I really do think that, our squad could be looking really, really strong. And, we're going to have a really positive season. I think if you'd asked me this sort of question, maybe in sort of like January time, or maybe even after like the West Ham game, there was a real fear factor in me that, we were going to end up being like, either like the Huddersfields, the Sunderlands, maybe even like the Blackpools, and we were just going to plummet all the way back down. But I think, looking at the squad that we do have at the moment, the Methams, the Lloyd Kellys, yeah, I'm really, really positive, for next season. So, just trying to keep things upbeat at the moment.
Yeah.
I would have really have liked, for it to be done and dusted now. So, when the Everton game comes along, I could actually just relax and maybe enjoy it a bit and not have to worry about the result. Whereas now I'm going to be edge of my seat and probably sweating, getting headaches, being all flustered and everything. But yeah, what else can we say about this?
Yeah, no, you've pretty much summed up how many fans are feeling. Now, Lucas is here as well, and he's got a shirt over his head, and he's basically covering his face. I don't know if that's a face mask or he's just very much disappointed by how things are. Lucas, how are you, buddy? Can you hear us?
Oh, I feel sick.
Not great, was it?
So sick he's got his head in the bucket.
Yeah, Lucas, we need to see a face if possible, so you might need to pan the camera down, and there's a little bit of feedback, so you may need to wear some headphones if possible. In the meantime, we'll come to Louis, who's been hanging on. Louis, disappointing, eh?
Yeah, it just really is salt in the wound. That false hope. You think you've got your late goal.
Yeah.
I was cheering like mad. Then figure it's not to be. Goes to VAR. It's not staying.
Would it have been enough had we equalised anyway? Because it would still leave us needing favours. But it's kind of like as the game goes on, you're kind of thinking, okay, now I will take a draw.
Yeah. About 15 minutes left. I was more thinking, okay, let's at least get a point, and then if we win, against Everton, we still got a semi-decent chance. But now, stats I've seen says we have a 6% chance of staying up, which I think is fair.
About a 6% chance. 6% chance. That's precise. Yeah. I'm surprised you've gone full on 6.71.
Yeah, and then it's just a stats website, and it says 94% chance of relegation. So.
Oh well, I mean, so that takes into account the gravitas of the teams that Watford are playing. Because at the end of the day, Man City, after their cup loss against Arsenal, they're going to be angry. They could put 3-4 past them, and then it all does come down to the final day.
That's assuming Villa don't get 4 points. If Villa get 4 points from the last 2 games, Everton's meaningless.
Who have Villa got again?
I think is it Arsenal and West Ham?
They got Arsenal at home and West Ham away.
Yeah. So they could get something from each of those. That's not so outrageous to think.
Can I come back to a couple of points, Sam?
Yeah, go on, Kirk.
So one of our problems has been this season is when we have gone behind, I think teams have managed us very well, and we've struggled to get back into games. I saw a stat a while ago where when we go behind, we don't recover from it. And that's how it played out today. The first half, pretty good. Yeah, we conceded that we let them in to concede the goal. But the second half, you've got to give them credit. They managed the second half. They played the game how they wanted to play it, and we didn't really capitalise on the situation till about the last quarter, and they managed that situation, and that was similar to Newcastle, that was similar to Palace. They managed the game when they went ahead. The difference with Leicester is they made an error, and we jumped all over them. The other thing, coming back to the point that's just been made previously, is the long throw. Has anyone ever seen a score from this tactical long throw? I mean, how many times do we sit in the stadium and go, why is Steve Cook taking this long throw? Now we got Billing doing it. Now we got Lloyd Kelly doing it. I literally, when we scored, I thought we've actually scored from this long throw tactic that I've been watching for about 10 years. But again, VAR cancelled that out. But again, we're just not clinical enough. How many times did we just float the ball into McCarthy's hands? You're getting set pieces and corners, make something happen, and we're just floating balls up to a 6-foot+ goalkeeper, and he's just eating them up. And unfortunately, that's where we faltered again today.
Yeah, sorry, Lou, you about to say?
I was saying we're just giving him catching practice, really.
It seemed like it, and even from our crosses as well, we couldn't seem to get it over that first man, and it was just absolutely constant. It's just depressing, isn't it? Algard, hopefully you can hear us now from Brittany in France. How are you?
Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, good. Well, that's reset the computer for you. Right. Right, listen. It is what it is. Watford are 1 point away from sending us down. I don't think they'll get that point. It's up to us. But what's that? Who's got the fire alarm going outside?
Yeah, that's me. Like where I am in Poole, there's all sorts of stuff that they seem to be tracking me down. I swear it. But anyway, carry on, Al.
To be honest, Sam, the last 3 podcasts, you seem to have had a bit of bother outside your house.
I know. But yeah, go on. What are you saying?
Yeah, do you know what? I was so hopeful today, and I was really positive from the start, and it hasn't happened. We are where we are. We're 1 point away from going down. Whether Watford get that point, I don't know. It's up to us. Listen, it's irrelevant. We've got to go to Everton and win 2, 3. That's up to us. We didn't have the intensity today that we had against Man City, or indeed actually against Tottenham. I thought we did well against Tottenham, and certainly Leicester in the last 45 minutes. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm still going to sweat for another week, Sam. I'm going to sweat for another week.
Look, if Man City get a result against Watford, 2-0, 3-0, whatever, one that makes the goal swing feasible. I mean, what's the goal swing at the moment, Kirk? I mean,
Yeah, so they need to really score by a minimum of 3. So if they score by a minimum of 3, that will leave Watford +1 up on us. But obviously, with Watford then losing the last game, will make it equal. And then with us winning, will give us a goal advantage to take us above them. So a minimum of 3 goals from Man City, and we win and Watford lose, that will take us above them. But I don't think we should eliminate the Villa Rain out of this yet.
Please don't let Watford lose both them games and us not do anything at Everton. It's up to us to try and crack that, and that's our way.
I mean, if Man City can get a 3-goal swing and we can beat Everton 2-1, that should be enough. That'll give us a goal swing of 1 against Watford. Again, if Villa don't do anything, so it is still possible. But I'm probably as less confident as I have been on all the shows we've been doing and I've been on. I just don't think this squad has got it in them. Not like I've said, like previous squads, that they all seem to be together and they look like they can pull off miracles. I just don't think this squad have got it in them.
Explain the bunting, Al. Explain the bunting.
Oh, you can see that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
A lady in her 60s, early 70s in Bournemouth, who lives in Folkestone. She does bunting, and we've got the marquee out here, and she did it for about 30 quid. She's got arthritis, so keep her hands moving. She said, "Oh, I'll do you an AFC Bournemouth thing to go on your marquee," and she did. Veronica's her name, and I'll probably send a link for people who want bunting to go around the house. But fabulous lady.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. And she's done one there. It says AFC Bournemouth Championship 2020-21. But I'm not putting that up yet. we are still. Listen, we're still there. It's going to be a little depressing. We're all going to be watching Man City, Watford on. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Is it right? Okay. We'll sit there and watch that, and let's see where it goes from there. And then we'll know after that if it's still possible. We know what we've got to do, and we keep smiling. It's possible,
mate. Loving your thoughts, Al. Glad you are mended after your hospital visit. Glad you're all good.
Yeah. Okay. Right, guys. See ya. Well, are you doing a podcast on Tuesday after Watford get beat 3-0?
Well, who knows? If that happens, then I'll be happy as Larry. But yeah, we'll be on next week anyway. Al, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks very much. That's Al Gard from Brittany in France, and also we've got Yanis as well, who's on the chat. Not sure where he's. Yanis, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Good man. How are you?
Depressed.
Know the feeling.
I know the feeling. It's just problem is we've still got hope. It's still got hope on with Everton. It just depends what happens with Man City and Watford.
It is so. I mean, it would be so Bournemouth if we managed to get out of this, but I can't. I mean, at the end of the day, like even if you're Watford, having a new manager, do you reckon they'll get the bounce they need to get that 1 point?
Yeah, they'll scrape a draw.
Do you
I can
reckon?
see it happening.
Personally, for me, I don't think so. Because I think they were much better under Nigel Pearson. For me, I don't think they'll. I think we can stay up. It just depends what happens. I personally think.
I was thinking about it
I
the other
know what
day,
you mean.
like if Bournemouth fans have got our songs almost ingrained into our head. It's like Eddie had a dream. We've got a manager called Eddie. Eddie, how's Barmy Army? Well, Watford fans must be consistently rewriting their scripts. Was it 4 times this season or whatever? Like, how can they go? I mean, who are they going to bring in? Any ideas, Yanis?
I don't know. I think probably bringing an interim. I don't know. It's pretty hard for them now. Thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, Watford. I think on the job description, it might as well be like interim manager required.
1 point.
I haven't got a clue who their longest serving manager has been, but it hasn't been in my lifetime anyway. Craig, can it happen? Can it happen? Can we stay up? Can we do it?
I'll be honest, I
lost faith.
Not so much lost faith. The team, gave their all today. We just didn't have a clinical striker in front of goal. That's what we've been missing all season, really.
Yeah.
Callum was it, but has lost form. There's a real possibility, if Man City do beat Watford. However, it's a very slim possibility. Now, all they need is a point from one of the 2 games. And let's be honest, Man City haven't been brilliant. So yeah, I've resigned myself to relegation. However, if we can somehow turn it round, it'd be a massive surprise and a very welcome one. But yeah, kind of. Wow, that's probably it.
We'll get a final word from this gentleman here. Harry Wilson, how do we analyse his season? Because if it was in a game, it would probably be, if you kind of summed it down to one game, it would possibly be this one. He had sort of bright moments, but ultimately he caused more problems than good. He gave away that penalty. He missed a chance at the end where we were all thinking, oh, God, that would have gone in. It's been a funny old time. Do you think it would be a signing that Eddie would be looking to take into the Championship or not really?
I think I speak for all of us, Sam. I really hope it's not another Liverpool signing that we have to make. It is Mark, by the way. This name is just for obviously one of the Saints fans that just seems to constantly want to be on this podcast rather than
Jaden P.
Jaden P. Yeah, he loves AFCB. Pass it on, absolutely. Listen, Sam. The start of the season, I think we all would have been raving. Actually bringing Harry Wilson on board, given exact what he did with Derby last season, and there have been, glimpses. I would just say glimpses because of the inconsistency. You look at that free kick they had at Man City, the goal he scored against Aston Villa away as well, and you think, oh, bloody yeah, we've really got, we've got a real capture here, and I don't know, I can't exactly pinpoint it, but at a certain point he's just completely tailed off. And a bit like with Billing on a number of occasions this season as well. When Harry Wilson comes on, it doesn't fill me with that optimism that he's going to come on and change the game. But then again, that could be down to some of our tactics that we're looking to deploy, because I really don't think in many cases we've actually played to his strength. Whether we've played him in that little hole just behind the striker, which, if I'm right in thinking, that's where he played at Derby, and his season proved pretty fruitful from it. And like I mentioned earlier, it's not like we're trying to play in and around the edge of the box to then try and get a free kick for him to then have an opportunity. I think further from that as well, the emergence of Stanislas and quite possibly Dan Juma. I mean, why he hasn't come on today as well, given his positive start since the restart as well, remains to be seen. next season, I really hope it's not money, that we have to waste again on another Liverpool player. Like I say, a bit like with Craig, resigned myself for us being in the Championship. It's a toxic relationship with us and the Premier League now. I just want us to sort of reset, get rid of some of the deadwood, some of the players that don't want to be there. Because if we do stay up, I think it'll be a much bigger rebuild than it would be being in the Championship, and then maybe enticing some of the more promising players from either the lower leagues, like maybe Ivan Toney from Peterborough, who we've been linked with in the past before, and possibly bringing them into the club, building them up, and actually for these young players to have a hunger and desire to then perform better in the Premier League, rather than these players coming from the bigger clubs, possibly having a chip on their shoulder, and not quite performing like we as fans would expect them to be, or seeing it as an opportunity of coming to Bournemouth. But from the backstage of it all, we as fans, we just don't want the growth of the infrastructure of the club to stop. And I think it'll be a real help for us fans if someone from the club were to come out at some stage and say, look, whatever we're going to be in, these are our plans. We are still going to progress forward with things. Whether the training ground, is scaled back, but there's going to be plans, for that to continue to grow, and just give us some sort of, I don't know, assurances that, we aren't going to go the way of the Blackpools, the Sunderlands and so forth, because we've been there. We don't want to be there again. I got confidence in the board. In Eddie, we trust. We don't want him to go. He is the best man for the job. And he'll be the best man to bring us back into the Premier League. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Mark, thank you very much for coming on again, mate.
Sam, cheers, mate.
Cheers, and see you next time. Hopefully,
absolutely, mate. Take care.
Yeah, all right, buddy. And we'll finish by bringing in Morgan as well. Yanis, we're gonna ask you a one-word question here. Will we stay up? Yes or no?
Tough question, but for me personally, yes.
Whoa, loving that.
Yes.
Yanis, mate. Well, I would absolutely take that. Incredible, Yanis. Thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it. And Louis as well. Thank you very much for your thoughts, and hope to see you again. And fingers crossed it'll be a positive one. We're left with the three of us. We were going to bring Morgan in, but he's gone. So closing thought. Oh no, he's back. He's back. So let's bring him in, because he always adds a bit of enthusiasm to proceedings. Morgan, we thought we couldn't let you disappear without having something to say. You may need to unmute your mic. As soon as you unmute, you can speak. Right, Morgan.
Can you hear me?
We can. Tell us why we should enjoy the week ahead.
Well, why shouldn't we? We got all these negative people, and why should we think so negatively? We think about our baddest time, -17 season. We need to think positive. We are going to have to hope that City win, which will happen. And then even like someone mentioned earlier, what would happen if we got down to the final, like if we were on the same goal difference, etc. I think it was Gary Neville. But if we get down to that, we would play a playoff game. I'm 100% sure. I don't think it's happened for quite a while. Against the team, probably 17th and 18th. I think that's how it would work. And at a neutral venue. And could you imagine? Think about it after today. How disappointed we are that happened. I think I'll get a lot of credit if with the positive, if that did happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to these days. Like nowadays, it's like, if we are level on points, it's the goal difference, and then it's goals scored, and then it's the head-to-head these days. And then after that, if the head-to-head's even, then it would be a neutral playoff or something. Kirk, can you confirm that?
So it's goal difference, then it's goals for. Then it's goals for if you've scored, if you've got the same goal difference. I actually think Morgan might be right in there is a playoff match. I'm not sure the head-to-head comes into it, but you might be right as well, Sam. I think I looked at this the other day. We've out of Watford's Aston Villa, I think we've got the most goals. So if we were to finish on goal difference, again, it would swing in our favour. If a lot of ifs again, but
all these people saying, you know, we're gone. We're not gone. You know, just because like we're a little bit more gone than maybe like a few weeks ago. We're still right in this. You know, people get results in midweek, and then we win at Everton. And but people think I'm
It's true. I mean,
bonkers.
it's true because you look at Watford's games and they're horrendous.
But
you know, they're a team that have done Liverpool. You know, they might get a point at Arsenal. Arsenal could be topsy-turvy. You know, they're now in the FA Cup final. All their attention could be on that match to get Europa rather than the league. I don't know. It's very difficult. You know, there's so many if, buts, and maybes, and of course, we're not even thinking about Aston Villa that, you know, could be getting results too. It could still happen, and it would be very Bournemouth if it did. But
well, someone just sent me the link of when Bournemouth scored, and luckily I actually got on the TV on the second time. You know, they didn't have technical issues. You know, when Sam Surridge's goal went in, you should see the celebration. And then about 30 seconds, when VAR chalk it out, God, I look like, oh no. Have a look, it's on my Instagram. But yeah, I think we need to find some positivity. I think the performance is, and if we do go down, and that's an if, I think we need to be very, very proud of our last performances. If we were sat here today and we were thinking, you know, they're not giving it, they don't care, they want to, you know, half the players don't care, then I think we would have every right to feel angry. But if we, being realistic, if we do go down to the lower division of the Championship, which we won't, but if we do, we only have kind of ourselves in a bit of a negative kind of way. Like, we haven't played well all season. You know, we lost every game out of 20. I think it's 22 now. That is horrendous. We were 7th when we beat Man United.
You know what? I recorded a podcast. I don't know what episode it was. It was in last year where we were riding high, but our performances were, in my opinion, shocking, right? And I looked online and people seemed to be loving it. And the podcast title, I don't know which episode it was, Are We As Good As We Think We Are? And that was the reason I said it was because we're playing shocking, yet somehow results are going for us, that we've got this spot. This is the most false league position there ever was. We were at what, at 6th or 7th in the table at one stage? I think 7th.
I know, it's mad. No, 100%. Yeah, I know, it's mad. And I just wanted to close off on, we don't want Harry Wilson in whatever division we're in next season. We do not want Harry Wilson. I find him very, very lazy. I think he doesn't defend. I think, he scored quite a lot of free kicks, but I think he was absolutely terrible. Like, I was on a WhatsApp group, Craig, people were just saying, get him off after like 5-10 minutes. You know, he gives us that handball. What was he doing? You don't put your, have some common sense. I think Morgan rates our chances more like 90. Thanks very much. But yeah, I think you don't put your hands like that. Put them down by your sides. You want to be subtle. You don't just bloody put your hands out. But yeah, I think Harry Wilson needs to go back to Merseyside. And as for AFC Bournemouth, well, we'll be heading up to Merseyside, so maybe Harry Wilson could be dropped off on the team coach up there.
Yeah. However, if the organisers,
if we stay up, because I know you're always positive, mate, and you know I love it. Absolutely love it. If we stay up, because I've never seen a video of him. I've seen him on Twitter putting things on there. Can you just change your name to Caricatura?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If you maybe I'll be able to work on how to pronounce that. Sam, you know. But yeah, no, I think. By the way, if Bournemouth do stay up, I think I'll be going on a tour with them next season. For like one of their most loyal fans ever. But yeah, no, to be honest with you, Kirk, if you get the chance to head down and talk to Eddie in midfield, please do so, because I reckon you could, Morgan for AFC Bournemouth manager when Howgate. You know what? I might take you up on that.
Morgan, it's been a pleasure once again.
But just to close off, if Bournemouth after the match, Sam, can we do a podcast when we like if the results in midweek go in our favour. I think we really need to get on here at every opportunity in the last week.
Maybe we'll see how things go. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go for a 3-0 win at Goodison Park and Bournemouth to stay up. Thanks for having me. Cheers,
Pleasure.
Gary. Cheers, Carragher.
Cheers, Gary. Cheers, Carragher. What? He's such a character, and you know what? I love to have him coming on. And as Steve said, just to close off for the 7th time, he said that. Closing words, Kirk. Well, are you going to go for a run pre-Everton or not?
I am. I'm sorry if it's letting everyone down, but I'm going to put a bit of a. I'm going to flip this a little bit as I finish off. After the Newcastle game, we were just hoping that the players were going to show a little bit of passion, a little bit of pride, put a little bit of an effort in to the end of the season. And if we got relegated, we got relegated with our heads held high. Okay, now we can't knock them for that. If we end up in the Championship, it is what it is. If the results go our way and we're still in the mix come Sunday, who knows what can happen. I couldn't tell you when we last won away from home. That's a stat I don't have for you tonight. But if we're in there, we've got a chance, and who knows?
You know what? Let's. I'm not going to look, but let's just try to work it out. When did we last win away? I mean, it's not far as back as Southampton, is it?
I mean, I like to think I'm pretty good with stats, but I haven't got that one to mind.
I'm just trying to think. Is it? Are we talking like surely after Southampton we won away at some point?
Yeah, and I know Craig's been really positive about beating Everton to a point. I'm with Craig. They don't look great. They've got nothing to play for, but it's not the easiest team to beat away from home, if we're being honest. Although based on form guide, we shouldn't doubt ourselves that we can't beat them. But yeah, I mean, we haven't won away from home for a long time, and we're not consistent.
Oh no,
it was Chelsea, wasn't it?
Chelsea.
Yeah,
that's December.
Yeah.
So. And we're not putting the ball in the back of the net regularly. So, however, we just need something to go for us. I don't know what's happened to Craig.
No, I don't know. It's gone a bit sideways. I think his cable might have come out his iPhone or iPad or whatever. Not too sure what happened there. So it's just me and you to finish, Kirk. But alas, go on, carry on.
We just need something to go for us. We need this squad to somehow get some cat the bag, and we need all the results to go our way. So not a lot to ask really.
No.
But yeah, and for me, if we get to the end of next week and we get relegated, I can sit here and say I'm glad that they've put in a shift since the Newcastle game, and at least they've tried, and they try to take it as far as they can. So it's not all doom and gloom.
Cheers. Thank you very much, Kirk. Appreciate having you on. And Craig, it was a bit weird there because I had two of you. I had one sideways and one you're back. Closing words from you today.
It's gutting. The players really did put in a shift. I think it's pretty much over. But sometimes the remote possibilities do happen. So I guess I'd love to be like Morgan and just hope and fingers crossed, we can do something. But I've consigned myself to relegation, and I think anything else is a bonus. I do apologise, by the way, about the phones today. My phone died on me just a minute ago.
Don't worry. That's okay. Yeah, don't worry. I just saw you go sideways, and then another Craig Beasley came in. It's like, what the hell's going on here? But anyway, thank you very much for coming on. No doubt we'll catch up in the week. And you know what? If the form book goes to how it should, then we'll be in with a chance on the final game of the season. And that's all we can ask for.
Yeah.
And you know what? At least we'll have some hope, hey?
I don't think Everton are a great team. I think we can beat them, whether or not it's a little too late. I'm thinking it is, to be honest, mate. I think I am a little bit worried that now Watford will pick up something against City, or that City won't score enough goals against them. But you never know. So I'm just praying and hoping, and
Like us all. Nice one, Craig. Thank you very much for coming on.
All right, you take
And
care.
yeah, thank you very much. Cheers, Craig. Thank you to everyone that's taken part today. It's certainly not been the best of days, has it? Yeah, AFC Bournemouth 0, Southampton 2. Our South Coast rivals, who have made it look like a rivalry, have actually started to, prepare the deathbed. But will we go into it? Not sure. We got a chance. Man City could help us out by smashing Watford, and then it will go down to the final day. We're effectively gone, but not just yet. It's the Bournemouth thing to do to go to the final day, isn't it? Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back very soon. Podcast comes out tomorrow with myself and Jeff Hayward. Will we be positive? Probably not. Download it on your podcast app. Just search for Back of the Net Bournemouth, and also it'll be on YouTube as well, the match chat section at least anyway. Leave us a review if you can. And also, if you want to buy us a coffee, your support is very much appreciated. Just go to afcbpodcast.com/coffee. It's been a horrible Sunday. I can't wait for this week. Oh my goodness. Let's call this a day. See you later. Up the Cherries.
Back in the day!